I saw this question pop up, and apparently students tend to treat these as two very different questions. But in fact, as is typically the case with percentages, these are really just about multiplication, and as is often the case with multiplication, these are really about distribution. Take this first case. We're trying to find the difference between 82.1% of 954 and 92.1% of 954. Without a calculator, this could be a pretty difficult question. But of course, if we see that the difference between the two percentages is really just 10%, we can see this is actually just asking us what's 10% of 954. To see how this is really the distributive property at work, let's rewrite these as multiplications. 82.1% of 954 can be written as 0.821 times 954. Similarly, 92.1% of 954 can be written as 0.921 times 954. You can see that the 954 is the same in each of these cases. So when we set this up as a difference, we can take that common 954 from each of these expressions, and we can say this is the same as 954 times 0.921 minus 0.821. In other words, that 10% difference that we noticed a moment ago. That 10%, as we multiply it out, is equivalent to taking the decimal after the 4 and moving it to in front of the 4, and so we can see that that difference should be 95.4. But coming back to this second expression, we can do a similar kind of thing. It's just that this time it's the 37% that the two expressions have in common. 37% of 964 we can write as 0.37 times 964, and then we're finding the difference, subtracting 37% of 954. With those 0.37s in common, we can again use the distributive property and say this is the same as 0.37 times the difference between 964 and 954. That difference, of course, is 10, and so really we're just multiplying 0.37 times 10, which is going to give us our result here, that's got to be behind my head, of 3.7. And so there you have it. We can use the distributive property in each of these cases to significantly simplify our calculations and find the difference between some different percentages without actually having to find those percentages.